good, everybody? This your boy Dre. No, I'm not going to say it's Wednesday because I'm in the chair. But Mikkel will join us later as we do our NBA segment. Right now, we're about to do our WWE segment as we're on the road to WrestleMania because WWE Fast Lane is this Sunday. And as usual, my man Roger is here.
Hey.
We got D by the phone.
Hey.
And in studio, friend. Man, you might as well be. You are the flex zone. Brian Waters is in the building.
He's here. Yes.
All you have to do is hit it a couple more times. It's like a disqualification at that point.
Hey, man, flex zone come calling, so y'all know what that means.
But we got to talk some WWE Fast Lane. But before we get into WWE Fast Lane, y'all, we got to talk about the retirement of your boy, Brian.
Yes, your boy, actually.
Daniel Bryant. Yes, he is our boy. The Yes Movement is officially retired. Brian, I'm gonna go to you first because this is you up here talking about it feels like your dog died and whatnot on the group meeting.
If you need a tissue box, man, I'm right here.
No,
man.
look, let this man have his moment and stop being so disrespectful. And D, you stop laughing.
Yeah,
sad.
They might have to go on a 30-second mute. I mean, it's very tragic to the wrestling industry. The wrestling industry took a hit last week. It actually, let's be real, it took a hit dare say May 2014 and never quite recovered. What we saw in Daniel Bryan was something we had not seen since the days of Hulk Hogan, a man who literally took an audience and had everybody captivated. Now, people can say what they want about Stone Cold, and they can say what they want about The Rock. Yes, Austin was somebody where he was what you wanted to be while you were at work. He was somebody who you wanted to beat up your boss. And at the time, we didn't understand it the way we do now as working men and women. But at that time, we just thought it was cool. Stone Cold Steve Austin. The Rock was cool because he, like my man Dre over here, was a ladies' man. You know, he was the guy who, you know, he was the quote-unquote pretty boy of the WWE. Well, everybody couldn't relate to that. You know, not like, everybody's not Dre.
Oh, Lord.
So then you look at Daniel Bryan. Here's a guy who many would say overachieved. He was a smaller guy, but nonetheless, everybody could relate to dealing with some sort of adversity. That was something, and that was the reason why people related to him. That's the reason why the Yes Movement took over. Whether you were a child in school, whether you were an adult at work, you've had people tell you, no, you can't do something. No, you're not good enough. And that's what Daniel Bryan was, hence why Occupy Raw was huge. So when he went down to see, you know, him having to retire, it was it sucked. And for me personally, like I said before, and I'll say it on record, and because I said it on the Flex Zone, it counts. I won't have another favorite wrestler. Not like that. Now, I will continue to like the WWE and TNA and Ring of Honor and Lucha Underground. I would say CZW, but apparently somebody there can't do business right.
Okay.
Pipe bomb.
Mm-hmm.
But, or MCW, that's another one. You know, I know Jimmy Seafood likes them, so I'm going to just leave it right there. But nonetheless, the thing about it, I'm still going to like wrestling, but I will root for storylines, and I will root for individuals to be put in certain places, as opposed to when I was younger, there was Hulk Hogan, there was Bret the Hitman Hart. I wanted them to win no matter what, no matter how. That's how I felt about Daniel Bryan. I'm not going to allow myself to feel that way about another wrestler.
I mean, it was very sad to see this man retire. As you said, he's an overachiever. He came back from a neck injury, and then he came back again, and now he's forced to retire.
And let's not forget, everything they gave him, they gave him junk, and he made it into gold. They gave him lemons, he made lemonade. When he first became world champion, it was like, all right, you know what, Mark Henry's hurt. We don't want to put the belt on the Big Show. He's probably supposed to be the first person to lose it. Let's be real. That's a possibility. He won the world title. It was like, all right, you know what, hold it, until WrestleMania, whatever. But he made his world title run interesting. After everybody had waited so long, he was finally able to get a real Mark Henry title run. It was like, okay, how you follow up with that? Well, Daniel Bryan made the perfect sense and that was his doing. That's when he started the Yes Chance. Okay, now you take the belt off of him. Now we're gonna throw him with Kane, and everybody knows that's a career killer right there. You'll get a little bit of momentum. You'll get a tag team belt, then you're done. Ask RVD and Hurricane Helms. But then after that, they made Team Hell No work to the point that when they wrestled at WrestleMania 29, you were interested in that match, watching them go against Dolph Ziggler and a debuting Big E. So then obviously we know the rest of the story with him winning the championship and then coming back, winning an Intercontinental Championship. Hey, Grand Slam champion, that's a huge statement right there. But nonetheless, whatever they gave him, he made it work.
This is true. You can't forget somebody like a CM Punk. Those matches. I mean, CM Punk was saying that they were kind of on a collision course, similar to Shawn and Brett.
It should have been WrestleMania 30. Should have been the main event. Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk in an Iron Man match. They dropped the ball with that one.
Wait a minute. You saying this about CM Punk?
Yes, I'm saying that. Now, remember, I liked CM Punk while he was in the WWE. I didn't like him afterwards when he started talking trash because, like, don't disrespect the sport that made you famous. Don't disrespect the fans of the sport. When you're calling it fake, you're disrespecting the fans and the supporters. That was my issue with CM Punk. But when he was there, yeah, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, keep them as far away from each other as possible, and then put them going head-to-head so that when they had an epic match at WrestleMania 30, that I'm telling you, that match would have had New Orleans going crazy. You still could have had a heel Punk going against a yes chant and Daniel Bryan. It would have still went ballistic.
So, before we turn to Roger and D, when he went to WrestleMania, what do you say about that moment when he wins the World Heavyweight Championship?
Oh, it was epic. I remember we were all at Loafers, and to me personally, everybody knows who follow me at Brian H. Waters on Twitter. I'm a huge Baltimore Orioles fan, and that's the one championship out of the Lakers, the Ravens, the Cowboys, Maryland basketball that has eluded me is seeing the Orioles win the championship. But if I never got a chance to see the Orioles, if I never get a chance, seeing Daniel Bryan, it was bigger than that. That was the greatest moment to me as a wrestler fan, was watching Daniel Bryan, or the greatest moment in sports, entertainment, or anything that's out of my control. That was the moment.
D, you wanted to weigh in?
That's a little extreme, Brian. I give you that.
Very extreme.
That's personal. It's supposed to be extreme.
I know. Team extreme.
I got to see the Orioles win the World Series.
I want to see it. Don't get me wrong.
Okay, so D, you and Roger were very disrespectful.
I was not disrespectful.
When Roger with the tissues on the group me, and then D comes in here the next day smiling, talking about. I tried to tell you. So
I did try to tell y'all Daniel Bryan, the streamers out there. Man. I love Daniel Bryan. Okay, I remember seeing him in Ring of Honor. He was doing it up. Him and CM Punk had matches there, Samoa Joe, others. Then he got into the Nexus and almost got kicked out of that due to that angle he had with Justin Roberts, I believe. They kicked him out the company. Fans pushed him back in. He started his run with the USA title, and as Bryan went on to say his other runs, and you don't want to see nobody retire off the injury, but it was time. I think Daniel Bryan can share his experiences with others. Tell them, look, don't hide the injuries that I hit. You might have a longer career.
All right. What I have to say about this is this. Daniel Bryan was a great wrestler. He wrestled pretty much everywhere. He was not, well, my favorite wrestler is The Rock, so I really don't care about anybody else after him, really. I mean, I still watch the WWE, but I'm not, I don't have a favorite wrestler either like Bryan. But I mean, Daniel Bryan was, he was good, but I mean, one thing he did not know how to do was slow down. He took butt whooping after butt whooping after butt whooping when he got to the WWE.
I will never like Sheamus or Ryback ever.
The Shield destroyed him. The Wyatt family destroyed him. like you said, Kane destroyed him. I mean, everybody was getting a piece of Daniel Bryan and Triple H. You thought Triple H was trying to kill his career at WrestleMania 30, the way he was just throwing them and all kinds of stuff. But Daniel Bryan, he just didn't know how to slow down. He didn't know how to say no to certain things. And now we're at this moment where he has to retire because he couldn't say no. He was having seizures. Brie Bella was going crazy, I heard, and it's really sad for the wrestling community.
That's the indie mentality when you thinking you got to get over because your moves, and in your mind that's always telling you, no, I got to do this to get over. I got to do this to get over. Not really understanding, hey, I've arrived. I ain't got to do all that no more.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened to some of the best superstars. Shawn Michaels was one. He had to take 4 or 5 years off before he could get back into the ring. And also Edge had to retire early because of neck injuries. Tyson Kidd just had a recent neck injury, and now he's sidelined. There's a bunch of injuries going on because guys pushed themselves a little bit too hard. So it's sad that Daniel Bryan is gone. Hopefully he finds something, to do after wrestling, and hopefully he has his family that he wants with Brie, and he can live life like a normal guy, hopefully.
Well, while Daniel Bryan may have retired, there's another indie star that has come along, probably the hottest anticipated star in a long time. AJ Styles, the redneck rookie, is in WWE. Brian, your thoughts?
This is the biggest signing, in my opinion, since the Nature Boy Ric Flair, as far as biggest free agent signing. Because he's coming in with so much hype. And Ric Flair came in the same way. He came from WCW, NWA, and you knew who he was if you were amongst the tape trading and if you were in this region, because everybody knows the Baltimore, D.C. region did both, the WWF and the WCWs, where the North was mainly WWF, the South was WCW. So we all knew who Ric Flair was. And that's how it was with AJ Styles. And I wrote in on the Sportster.com where the match between him and Daniel Bryan, that was a match that we were going to miss. Because you can just imagine, and people say, oh, we see it on the, so what? We know that. But on the big stage. Because Flair and Hogan was a match we wanted to see, but for whatever reason, they didn't give it to us. They say because it didn't come out right at Madison Square Garden, where me personally, that would have been my WrestleMania 8 main event, no matter what. Yeah, we got it at Bash at the Beach. This shows you how smart WCW was.
Right.
They didn't even make us wait till Starrcade. They gave it to us at Bash at the Beach. And then the following pay-per-view where they retired Flair. But then we got it on Raw years later. You imagine the electricity we would have got if we would have had it at a WrestleMania.
In its prime.
So now, me personally, I want to see an AJ Styles versus a Seth Rollins at a WrestleMania. I think this is a huge. It's one of the best moves for the company.
Go ahead, Roger.
I like AJ Styles. I think he has a lot of hype coming in. I like that Chris Jericho is pretty much working with him and making sure that he gets that proper build, giving him the respect that he's earned. Coming from Ring of Honor, or is it TNA?
He's been
in both.
No,
but his last stop was Ring of Honor because his
Honor.
last match was against Jay Lethal for the belt.
I'll say this in Dwayne Allen's absence. He went to Ring of Honor to wipe the stink off of him, the TNA stink off of him. That's as the way would say. He was in TNA. That's where he became known. But then he became a global superstar, going to New Japan, going to Ring of Honor.
It's pretty much everywhere.
And yeah, he was everywhere. Now he's a WWE to get that TNA stink off him, just like Samoa Joe did.
But I just like the direction he's going in. Hopefully, if he's built the right way, he will be a very big superstar by not this WrestleMania, but by next WrestleMania. So
the way those T-shirts flew off the shelf, yeah.
He's got everything rooting for him right now. The theme music is working for him.
Yeah, it's banging.
His moves in the ring. Those of us who followed him, now seeing them in WWE, his matches are entertaining thus far against Chris Jericho and then against The Miz.
Even his mic work,
yeah.
It's like, who is this guy?
For me, Brian, you said you want to see him against somebody like Seth Rollins. I want to see him go against Kevin Owens.
Oh, yes, sir. I agree with you on that.
That one to me is the one that's the match. I'm like,
That's a SummerSlam
I can't
match.
wait. It probably is going that way. I wonder what they're going to do with him as far as WrestleMania.
You know what? That could be a WrestleMania match for the Intercontinental Championship.
It could be. That would propel him.
You know, they're listening, so
Yeah.
they might be listening.
Cowboy Stadium.
Flex Zone.
Yeah.
Over 100,000.
Yep.
Oh, I could even see him versus Dean Ambrose. I mean, there's a couple people who you would like to really see him match up against. I know WWE had a recent like top 5 who they would like to see him face, and one of them was John Cena, and I'm like,
I don't know.
I want to see it.
I mean,
I don't have to, but you got like.
well, you know it's going to happen.
yeah,
I want to
definitely.
see it. It's just Cena.
It's going to happen when Cena gets healthy.
But I mean, everybody seems to be on board. D, what are your thoughts about AJ Styles coming to WWE?
You know, I think it was a good signing when they got him from New Japan and Ring of Honor. I think Rey Mysterio and Goldberg might have been bigger signings for the WWE at the time, but this helps the in-ring product, and we used to see guys start up in NXT and they move their way up, but the roster was so, let's say, dry to be kind. It needed AJ Styles in there, and I like the build they're giving them, and I feel the Intercontinental belt should be the first belt he goes in.
I think that's a poll question for Flex Zone. Bigger signings for the WWE. AJ Styles, Goldberg, Rey Mysterio.
Wow.
That's true.
I mean, look, I'm only on the, I'm like, yeah, because when you talked about Goldberg, I didn't like how WWE did Goldberg, but that's just me. All right, so now we're on the road to WrestleMania. This is the last stop before we actually get to the Super Bowl of wrestling. And
Hey, wake up over there.
so we got a couple matches. I mean, not everything's set in stone yet, but AJ Styles and Chris Jericho, we pretty much know that's going to happen at Fast Lane. Who wins that match? This will be the best out of 3, right?
Yeah, this will be the best out of 3. AJ Styles.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's got to be AJ.
We have Kalisto and really, we have Kalisto and Alberto Del Rio?
Yes, again.
I'm so sick of this
It's
match.
a 2 out of 3 falls match.
It's even worse. It's on the pre-show, though.
Good.
That's
It needs to
crazy.
be.
That's on the pre-show.
It needs to be on the pre. Why is this match happening?
I don't know.
You know what I'll be doing? I'll be going on FoxSports1340am.com, going to Amazon and ordering something.
Spend that money wisely now.
Everybody probably is going to say Kalisto's going to win this
Yeah,
match.
Kalisto should win.
Yes,
I
yes,
don't
he
know.
should.
I think Del Rio might win this one.
Why? It's just like, why?
Keep the League of Nations strong.
Oh, my goodness.
That's the only reason I can think
Have
of.
you heard about the latest rumor that
Wade
Wade
Barrett?
Barrett is
Yes.
about to
I'm
He's-
afraid
he's-
I've got some bad news.
I'm leaving in June.
He's unhappy.
I mean,
Now, anybody on the League of Nations should be unhappy.
I like that group together, though.
I do too, but I mean, it's stagnant. There's
Yeah,
no
they need
real, no push for them.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
need a real push.
I could
like a real
see-
enemy, you
like,
know?
or I mean, join the Authority, something. Nothing with
That's true.
nothing with this group. Another yawner is Brie Bella and Charlotte.
Hey, look, another thing. I wrote How to Fix the Divas Revolution. More than one pay-per-view, more than one women's match on a pay-per-view. We getting that.
Yeah, we are.
But
Charlotte.
I
It's easy, Charlotte.
Yeah, she retains the title.
well, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. You know, the betting line said that Brie Bella might win this one.
Sneak this one and then
What?
lose next week or something
Right.
like that. Okay, I guess that could happen.
Yeah,
But it would be no point because, well, I mean, it goes into our next match, which is Sasha Banks and Becky Lynn versus Naomi and Tamina.
I see Becky
That's
Lynch.
the
She got
match
blonde
everybody
hair.
wants to see.
I want Naomi and Tamina to win so bad.
I'm almost certain they win because just playing by, you know, old school rules, who goes up, who goes down. Obviously, SmackDown's being taped, so I didn't see that. But, you know, Becky Lynch and Sasha both made Naomi tap back-to-back nights from one back-to-back television tapings. So I think they actually lose, and that sets, you know, cause some dissension between the two, and unfortunately sets up a triple threat match between Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Sasha Banks, which I think is unfair. That's just me.
Why do you think it's unfair, though?
Because you have to remember, I understand they're like the new generation.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not discredit what Naomi has done. Let's not discredit her evolution. I think a fatal four-way, she deserves to be in a high-profile women's match at WrestleMania. She's earned it, being able to, we saw the development of her character over the year, but everybody's so on this Sasha Banks versus Charlotte, which is understandable. But if you're going to put Becky Lynch in there, put Naomi in there.
I agree.
I kind of, it reminds me of, go ahead, D.
All right, Dre, I kind of disagree. I mean, Naomi didn't really home herself being a heel at first. I think that really hurt her.
Well, I said it was slow.
Yeah, I mean, I like the triple threat personally. That's just me. I think it's better with them three. They know each other well. You put Naomi and Tamina in a match, they would Brie Bella and Alicia Fox perhaps. Since Paige lost last night on Raw, who knows what they're going to do with that. So.
I mean,
she did, though.
I mean, for me personally, I kind of like the triple threat. I think Charlotte should have had her own match against Charlotte, but I don't mind the triple threat rules. It reminds me of the Shield. When you have those three, this is a match we've been talking about for the longest time, having the Shield go against each other. So I would love to see this triple threat match. Eventually we'll get our match with the Shield and the triple threat for the belt. But right now, they're the three stars who are carrying
Have you seen the Nail Mob
division.
on Twitter, though?
No.
The Nail Mob will go off. I'm telling y'all now, y'all want to tweet something about Naomi and hashtag Nail Mob, NAOMOB. You'll have a lot of retweets because I've never seen a WWE diva have a following on Twitter or any social media the way Naomi does.
I mean,
she has to.
She's good, and the angle I would love to see is if Sasha Banks wins the belt, then I would love to see her lose it to Naomi because I think Naomi deserves some type of title run.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
and
too.
it's unfortunate when she was supposed to be the one to beat AJ, and then she had the injury. So,
Yep.
These types of things happen.
I want to see her and Cameron back together.
Where is Cameron anyway?
Well, they did a house show this past weekend, and Naomi tweeted out the picture, said Dactyls for life. So I want to see.
She needs to join Team Bad, if anything.
Yeah, that's what I want to see because I think she can kind of help with her vocals and her attitude. She can kind of be more because the fans were going to love Sasha anyway. Let's just call it for what it is. But Cameron knows how to make them hate her, and then Naomi won't have to talk as much. Tamina would be there to be the muscle, and Naomi will be the one that's athletic and taking care of business in the ring.
And we got one last match, the number one contenders match. Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose. I'm trying to get my voice right to do it.
Just go ahead, man.
Brock Lesnar.
Okay. You sounded so dry with that. But anyway.
I can't do it. I can't do it like that.
It's all good.
It's
man.
only one Paul Heyman.
It's
that's
all
why.
good, man. But I see this as. I see this. You know what? I'm going on a limb here. I think Dean Ambrose is going to win.
It wouldn't shock me. D?
I think Roman Reigns wins. I don't think they're going to deviate from the plans they have. And Vince is too high on him. It's too high on him. And I do see the Wyatt family, after they get through with their match with the Big Show, Kane and Ryback, they'll come in and interfere, take Lesnar out of the mix. Dean Ambrose will be fighting for the Intercontinental belt probably. Roman Reigns fight.
Brian?
Oh, man. If I could agree with both of you, because I see exactly what D's saying. I see that going down the exact way. But like with Roger, I feel like just the more and more I think about it, I could see a swerve coming and them saying Dean because you thinking, all right, we've tried. We couldn't get Roman over. There's a reason why we had to switch and make him not be the last person so fans wouldn't see Triple H. Let's just go ahead and run with this Dean versus Triple H at WrestleMania, and let's see if we can get 100,000 cheering fans as opposed to 100,000 booing fans. Because last year Seth Rollins saved the pay-per-view. There's no money in the bank contract unless they give us that match this year. Dean wins it and he cashes in. So.
I kind of feel you. I'm on a limb too, but I just don't see them deviating from the plans. I got Roman Reigns winning this matchup. It's not the matchup I would like to see, but hey, it is what it is. We actually do have a Twitter poll going on asking, is Daniel Bryan a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I mean, if we gonna go to break, we gotta do it the right way, y'all.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Y'all stay tuned. This is the Flex Zone. And we're back, y'all. Great segment, the last wrestling segment. Make sure y'all definitely weigh in on that Twitter poll about whether Daniel Bryan is a Hall of Famer or not. We got the rest of the crew, though, in the building. Cravante, Mikel, Byron. What's good, everybody?
What's up, man?
Hello.
What's going on?
You ready to get into some NBA? Last week we had teased about George Karl and the Sacramento Kings, the storyline going on. There's been a lot of back and forth saying George Karl is going to be fired. Then we hear that George Karl isn't going to be fired. Cravante.
Why are we talking about the Sacramento Kings? They are irrelevant. They are quite irrelevant. If it wasn't for Boogie Cousins, this wouldn't even be close to a story. And it's a known fact that George Karl and Boogie don't get along. It's a known fact. But Karl has a past of not getting along with stars. So I mean,
Anthony.
Should he stay?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, it's not gonna make him any worse or any better. So I mean, whatever you want to do, I mean, go ahead.
So Mikel, who needs to go, George or Boogie Cousins?
I don't think they're going to let go of Cousins. I mean, when you talk about Cousins, that's like the next generation, the next wave there. It's kind of sort of disrespectful. But George Karl is I don't know how legendary he is, but he's legendary enough. Gary Payton, John, like, come on, you don't. Legendary. You don't. I mean, when you think of our generation and you think of, back then, way back when, George Karl was a little legitimate coach in the NBA. You respected George Karl. So to see him now, not even if he wasn't getting along with his players back then, the record at least spoke for itself, and they knew what they had to do in order to make things happen. Now it's like, I'm just going to outright disrespect you. You're going to and I'm going to show that I don't like you, and we're still not going to win. And it's like,
I'm going to go to Roger, and then I'm going to go to Brian.
You know what it is? To me, it seems like the game has passed him by in a way. I mean, back in the 90s, he was going to the finals with the Sonics, Gary Payton, Sean Kemp. And then, late 2000s, he was with the Nuggets, making that crew look legitimate.
They were actually pretty good.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, and to your point as well, I mean, you had guys that like if the games got away, you had guys that understood the game. You had the guys that understood what it took to win. Like, we don't have to get along.
Right.
I don't have to like you. DeMarcus Cousins is just, he's like this age's Rasheed Wallace. But even Rasheed Wallace knew not to do something that crazy, to not mess up what he wanted to do on the floor. So he hasn't found somebody that he's been going to look up to, you know how you fear your mom? Mm-hmm. You don't want to go home because you're afraid something happened. He's not afraid to go to the bench and somebody lean into him because nobody has.
Well, and I'm going to get to you, Cravante, but I want to get Brian's take on this first because, there's been a lot of rumors saying that he's gonna be a Laker.
Who cares?
What is your take on him being a possible Laker in the future?
DeMarcus Cousins?
Yeah, the home of the big man, as they like to say in L.A.
Oh, man, he would be the perfect person to carry on the torch, from you're talking like from Wills to Shaqs to Kareem's. To me, DeMarcus Cousins is the best big man in the league.
No question.
No question.
He can play the inside. I'm not a fan of big men shooting threes at all, but
when you make them like you do, you shoot all you want.
Exactly.
I'm still not a fan of it,
and they said that when he was drafted, you got to get ready because you're going to have at least 3 or 4 toddler years with him before, and clearly that's been showing. But I just look at George Karl, not to say overrated, I just think that we hold him in such high regard, like Mikkel said, because he was there in the 90s. But, I mean, how could you not, like Roger, go to the finals with that team?
Right.
No disrespect to you, but you could have coached that Sonics team to the finals. You know, I don't put him in the same regard as a Jerry Sloan, who had Utah. And then when the Stockton Malone era was over, he still kept them, you know, got like when he had the Karolinko era, you know, he still kept them sort of, you know, he kept them relevant. You know,
he was still good.
Yeah.
He kept them afloat.
Yeah, I hold him higher regard than I do with George Karl. I just think, like I said, the game has just passed him by. I remember he told some of my friends that Paul George wasn't a superstar. He could shut him down. Now, that type of insight, okay, I want to see it. That's what, you know, I was kind of excited about him kind of getting back into the game. I want to see if he could really do that. But I look at this Kings team, to me, like Mikkel said, he's not, if Cousins had somebody the way she just described that would lean on him as soon as he go to the bench, I guarantee you, with that team, we would be talking about them in the same way we talk about the Thunder and the Mavericks or the Warriors.
But he can't lean on them because they don't respect him.
Well, the head don't respect
and the
him.
management.
That's the thing. The management don't
sucks.
because.
Let me
Sorry.
get
My
Byron's
bad.
take on
Trying
it.
to take up too much time.
Oh no, you're fine. I just want to get Byron's take on it. You've been a little quiet.
Yeah, I mean, listen to everybody said. I mean, Kings aren't relevant. Anytime the coach and players aren't getting along, you always look to the GM. Who's GM right now? Looks like Lottie Divac has a lot of power over there. Don't know if he wasn't really that great of a player. Doesn't know if it's translating to the front office. But a lot of times when things go wrong, the first thing we do is look to the head coach. Let's not forget George Karl was just hired last year. But I don't think it was the right fit. Anytime you have a predominantly young team, you want to predominantly try to get a player's coach, a leader of men, a young up-and-coming coach, not necessarily somebody who's a veteran set in their ways. George Karl is 60-plus years old. He's not going to change the way he coaches or goes about the game of basketball. So when you have Boogie Cousins, who never got in trouble off the court, by the way, just has a little bit of temper tantrums every now and then. So do all the greats.
Just
Kobe,
a little bit.
Westbrook, all the greats. Jordan, just some people you may have heard of. All have their little, temper tantrums. DeMarcus Cousins, best big man in the game. I mean, he's a walking double-double. He does it all. He makes his free throws. I mean, with that team, like Brian said, with Rondo, Rudy Gay, getting my man out of Kentucky.
Collarstein. Willie Collarstein.
There's no reason. They are in the conversation as being the AC, but what's good to AC? Just to get swept by the Warriors? Nobody's going to remember that. So this team should be in the upper echelon of a team that's on the rise as a young team in the West, which we'll see.
I just think it's unfortunate because, I mean, we're praising DeMarcus Cousins, which is great because he is a walking double-double. But at the same time, it also shows the transitioning of the game of players because, I mean, you have a guy like Kevin Garnett in Minnesota, spent all those years in Minnesota. Minnesota wasn't good all them years. And you don't, and to stick with it and not get as frustrated when you know you have the right to be frustrated. It's almost, I mean, granted, I understand Cousins to a degree. I mean, you have all these weapons. You have this structure. I am who I am, and we still can't get it together. It's fine to be frustrated, but to be frustrated and not demand in the correct sense of a team turnaround and to throw hissy fits, because the word I want to say I don't think you can use on radio. But hissy fits is not the proper way to do it. You have to, if you're going to be a star in this league, if you want to talk about wearing a Lakers jersey and you want to go over there where the transition is not going to be as quick neither, because now you're going to go over there and put up Shaq numbers and you're going to go to the championship again, you're going to have to learn how to be in the tough times. I mean, we've just seen a young player in Cam Newton. Everybody, one of the things that they said about him was you didn't take defeat right. Well, you also have to take the low points of your career correctly, as you will be able to take the high points of your career correctly. And DeMarcus Cousins hasn't learned that. He doesn't have, not only does he not have someone that will get in his ear on the bench, he doesn't even have anybody, a mentor, like an older guy, a veteran in the league, like somebody to come up to say, hey, listen, relax.
Shaq
I think
everything he does.
Yeah, I don't think really Shaq is that guy. But
he's not even there.
He's a Rasheed Wallace or somebody that had that type of temper, that type of temperament that will understand. Because with Rasheed Wallace, it was most of the time them technicals was just passion.
Phil Jackson could coach him. Greg Popovich could coach him.
Yeah.
Guys, but
even maybe Doc Rivers.
But see, that's guys that can manage personality.
That's why I said leader of men. You have to be a leader of men to be a coach at any level. That's the first thing you have to be able to do. You have to be able to command a locker room and inspire people when times don't look that great. One thing I said about Boogie Cousins, always said they should just create a Kentucky team in the NBA. Get John Wall, trade DeMarcus Cousins with John Wall, get Michael K. Gilchrist, get Anthony Davis, get John Calipari, and let them all run together. I mean, let them be Kentucky in the NBA. Because John Calipari, one thing he can control is egos. He always gets the best players in the country and lets them play together. And he's the best salesman ever. He can sell salt to a slug. I mean, he is a hustler, but put these Kentucky Bulls on the same team. They all get along. I mean, let them play together.
They said when they came to D.C., Calipari came up here, and he went out with Wall and Boogie, and they just sat down, and he's like, Boogie, what was that? Exactly. Man, I know, Coach. He said, you know better, you know? And it's like she said, if you got to know, like, man, once I go back to this bench, I'm about to get it. It's kind of like a quarterback. They don't want to throw an interception, but they know if they going back to, like, let's just say Trent Dilfer going back and had to face Brian Billick. Brian Billick was going to light up, you know.
Oh, yeah.
What was my man, Buck Allen, when he fumbled the football?
He also lit up Steve McNair, too, for not, you know.
Greg Popovich don't care if it's the mascot or Tim Duncan. You do something wrong.
Lean into you. I don't care. You veteran, all-star, rookie, y'all on the same playing field.
Yep. Well, speaking of Greg Popovich, he coached the West in the NBA All-Star
game.
He
kind of looked non-enthused by the whole.
He never looks enthused.
But he never looks enthused.
But nobody was enthused. I mean, coaching an NBA All-Star game. I mean, there was a lack of defense in this last All-Star game.
I didn't enjoy it.
No, I mean,
what do you want them out there breaking their necks here?
Perfect. This is what I like controversy. He said he didn't.
I didn't enjoy
y'all
it.
Said y'all do.
I enjoyed Friday. I enjoyed Saturday.
No, Saturday was the best Saturday I've seen.
Saturday was off the hook, man.
Best Saturday I've seen since I've been watching basketball.
But you have those 2 days where it's great basketball. Great, it's great. Everything is great.
Listen,
Kevin Hart was
man.
great. Drake was great. The environment was
When
great.
last time you
The
said
dunking
that
was
Drake
great.
was
The
being great
3-point shootout
outside the
was
studio.
great. But the game itself sucked.
Listen, man, Charles
No
Barkley
defense.
said it best. They are not out there to break each other's necks. They're not out there for somebody to get injured. You gotta look at it this way. Everybody loves the All-Star break because you know it's about to get real. The season's about to start. How are we going to have a season if Kevin Durant is guarding Steph Curry, he breaks his ankle, something happened? You don't want that type of thing.
With the injury bug, though.
196 points, though?
Yo, Roger, I completely agree with you. I love how
196 points.
It was a record. It was a record. They had
like
pointers.
And the scoreboard only went to what?
199. 199.
So they would,
most scoreboards don't go over.
I want them to go to.
Now listen, Roger, I completely agree with you. But I did like the first half. The first half is fine with me.
Okay, yeah,
because that's how it's supposed to be.
Right.
But I was waiting for the defense to turn up in the fourth
usually
quarter.
in the fourth quarter they turn up.
It didn't happen.
No.
It never happened.
Because the West broke away.
It never happened.
Brian, you're saying it did, but usually back
Paul
in
George.
But wait a minute, oh wow! Outside of that, back in the day, you had people like a Michael Jordan, a Magic Johnson, a Larry Bird, who's going to be like, "All right, fellas, like now it's time to zone in, and we're going to play a little defense."
But the West took off so much.
It didn't happen this year. Where's the leadership from LeBron James, Dwayne Wade?
Right.
It was too much of a love fest. I'm gonna be honest. It was too much of a love fest for Kobe Bryant.
As a matter of fact,
yes.
I mean, and I think Kobe.
Absolutely.
I think the old Kobe would have been like, "All right, fellas, like let's win this game." The new Kobe is just like
It was too
He's
much of a
ready to
love
be
fest for
there.
Kobe.
He was just happy to be there.
I mean, Kobe-
You could tell.
When he seen Westbrook dunk on that fast break, he was like, "Yeah, I ain't even about to."
He realizes.
I'm out, man.
He realizes it's over.
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
I
That's all it was.
I'm just here
Well,
to
go-
wave
because
my
Brian,
hand.
go ahead and weigh in.
Here's the thing about Kobe. I think he was happy, but he would have been like, all right, y'all, come on, let's play. But the fact that you still had Russell Westbrook out there going hard, we know that's his guy. Like, if he had to select a favorite, that would probably be the guy.
Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Russell Westbrook, all from the same school.
Exactly. So the fact that he was still going hard, man is like, all
Probably
right,
my favorite player to watch.
Mine too, easily. He's like,
Most athletic point guard ever.
Plus, the West started pulling away, and you getting them double digits.
but
There's
he
nothing
had
to
a
really
chance,
go
though.
for.
But-
They were shooting threes.
You know when they started to pull away in the beginning of the fourth quarter when I seen Westbrook hit like 3 threes in a minute.
That's
But the
another
guys
thing I
back
can't
in the
stand.
day, like Dre
all those
just
3-point
mentioned.
shots, that's uncontested. Like,
That's the game now, though. That's the game.
They
That's
were
the game.
more conditioned. So, you didn't hear about Larry Bird or Michael Jordan talking about, oh, we want to take a break. The season's too long. So that's the reason why when the All-Star game, they could play a little bit harder because they wasn't worried about injuries. These guys now, because they don't have, not I ain't gonna say everybody, but they don't have the same type of love that Michael Jordan and them had. That's the reason why they don't want to play hard, because they don't want to.
And they get a week off.
Yeah, they don't want that injury bug. Jordan would play 7 days a week if they would have let him.
One thing I loved about the NBA All-Star Game this year was, and like Kalante said, we didn't really see the defense intensify. It's the ultimate pickup game. You get your best players. It's like you just have them on the same team. But I think something that people don't realize is the West has so much more talent than the East.
It does.
Like, think about it.
And
Steph Curry, Westbrook, Durant, Harden. You have 4 of the top 6 players on the West alone. On the East, you have LeBron. Wade is over the hill. I mean, he's still good, but he's not superstar. You still even have Chris Paul in the West, who's still a superstar. I mean, you have Wade, Melo. Paul George
balled out.
Paul George is great.
Wall.
John Wall isn't really a guy that's going to go out and get you 40. He'll get you 20 assists, which I
he got
love.
40 against the Warriors though a couple weeks ago.
But it's an All-Star game.
But I'm just saying, you see the talent disparity of just how deep the West is. You have guys like Damian Lillard who didn't even make the
got
team.
snubbed.
But that's only a testament to at the point where when the West started taking over, all the talent from the East went to the West. I mean, to a degree. I mean, let's face it. When a guy gets drafted into the league, he's not going to an Eastern Conference team. To a degree, nobody wants to go to the East no more.
You mean
Well, wait a minute.
I'm confused.
There's starting to be a transition in the East.
Besides Toronto,
The teams in the East are definitely more competitive this year, but it's just the
But it's never
superstar
been
level
out.
players. Because so many, I hate when people, I'm not going to name names, they just call everybody a superstar. My opinion, there aren't but maybe 5 to 7 superstars in the NBA.
I was
Are
going to
you
say like
talking
7,
box
8,
office?
yeah, something.
Or
Yeah,
you talking
It's the
just
difference between
whole
because Kobe's still box office, but he's not a superstar.
let Kevin Durant come to the. Let Kevin Durant go to the Wizards. Let's see.
Status?
Like, all right, for example.
Because in my opinion, once you it's like a badge. Once you get it,
Yeah.
you don't
Bad.
lose it. But it
2K.
takes you a while to earn that.
You said superstar. I digress because some
just
guys
saying,
don't.
like,
Some guys don't need
opinion.
to be a superstar. I mean,
Right.
look at Iguodala. Granted, being the
But, like,
main
look,
man wasn't for him. When
Saturday
he was,
night. I'm sorry, Miko.
He's
Go
a
ahead.
you
role
fine.
player.
I was saying Saturday night.
He's a 6 man. So.
Zach LaVine.
But that's fine.
If you know he's dunking, you watch him. But he ain't a superstar.
No.
You ain't going to find him during the regular season. Minnesota, one of the most disappointing.
Will the thrill. Will the thrill.
I just
No,
thought
I
I was.
mean-
That's all I'm
Will
saying.
the thrill.
Calls him that.
It's a couple
He's a
superstars
born
in the
neighbor,
NBA,
so he can be Will the Thrill.
but box office and then a
Andre
superstar. Like
Drummond.
Dwight Howard. If Dwight Howard gets traded, oh my gosh, what is Dwight Howard going to do with his new team? He's not a superstar, but you want to know what's going to happen with Dwight Howard. That's all I'm saying with
Some
that.
people are more
Glad-
some people more TMZ prone
That's
than actually.
Yeah,
But-
I'm glad that he actually talked about the White
That's
House
all I'm
because
saying.
there's a trade
Oh,
line
who
deadline
cares,
going on.
brother?
So who gets traded? Melo, Kevin Love, or Dwight Howard?
Dwight
Before
Howard.
the-
Could
Melo's not going
all
anywhere.
3 get
I
you?
would say.
Could all 3
Melo's
possibly?
not going anywhere.
I would say Melo's definitely not.
But then they
going
did
anywhere.
say
Does
when
he
you
have-
say honestly, you're lying.
I don't like that. I don't like
you're
that.
lying.
I don't like that because you're lying. to me.
Something about to happen.
Does he have a no trade clause?
He
Yes, he
does,
does. Yes,
but
he
he
does.
can
Yes, he
waive
does.
it if he likes
Right.
to. Like, if he can play with LeBron, I think he should take that.
Yeah.
Melo and LeBron playing together. People forget they're good friends. They have great chemistry. LeBron makes everybody around him better. That team would run through the East.
I haven't
Literally.
seen them
They
on
gonna run
vacations.
through
They run through the East without him.
Wait a minute, Melo has been on.
I'm joking.
I'm about to say.
They went on one last.
I mean, he went to
They
the
go
Western
on the
Conference
boat.
Finals with
Yeah,
the Nuggets.
and they had
oh,
all
and
that
to
beautiful
and to
women.
the Kevin Love point, they shouldn't have signed him.
Now,
That experiment
now if
never
that
worked.
trade comes through and he goes to a Boston with that team, look out.
Kevin
Yes,
Love.
They
absolutely.
become the
Absolutely.
second best team in the East.
But how is it
yes,
gonna work?
Absolutely. I love the Celtics team
The
right now.
trade, I don't know, but
He doesn't like.
it would be
he doesn't
Melo,
like to come off the
Melo
pick.
to
No,
Cleveland.
he doesn't like to come off the pick. Kevin Love. So
He don't have to
how
come
is
off
it
the
gonna
screen.
work?
He got Isaiah Thomas who can get in the lane against anybody. Just kick out, shoot them threes.
Kevin Love needs
he
a
willing
point
to
guard.
take him?
Kevin Love needs
and
a
Isaiah
point
Thomas
guard.
to be that
And
guy.
Isaiah
And
Thomas
Brad
is a perfect-
Stevens is the perfect coach. A young coach, young team. It will work. But Dwight, I don't know. He could be traded. I mean, he could opt out after this year, so it kind of be like, we got to get a chip this year.
I'm hearing there's problems with Hassan Whiteside in Miami.
Yeah, they say he's a knucklehead.
His attitude.
That's what they say.
I mean, but what's going to
Issues.
happen with Chris Bosh, though? Is he going to have to sit out the rest
He
of the
might have
season
to
with these
retire.
drugs?
Yo, that's what I was saying. I was like, he might want to retire, man.
He already got paid.
Yes,
He
he
got-
does.
But I think that's the one thing.
And
you
at
do
one
hate
point,
in
they
the
were
NBA.
he was their only lifeline.
And I think, I don't know if you can use the amnesty clause on.
Have they used
on
it yet?
I'm not sure.
'Cause
That's
if they
a
haven't-
huge question.
If
to
they
come
haven't
up.
used it, they definitely
can
can.
You only get one per
Yeah,
every
that's
collective
the thing.
bargaining agreement, but I don't think they've used it.
It's a tough call with Chris Bosh. We hate to hear about what happened with Chris Bosh. Really,
Or maybe if the Knicks can somehow get Dwight Howard without giving up Porzingis or Melo. Get a big man in there. Hey. Just somebody that can rebound like Bryant said.
Well, like you said, Dwight Howard isn't a superstar, so what is his price tag?
Well, the issue with Dwight Howard is he's looking for a max deal.
Oh, you tripping.
He's looking for a 5-year max
The
deal.
only thing with Dwight, he hasn't been healthy since before L.A.
That's why he
And
won't
if he
probably
can
get
get
a max
healthy, granted, call him what you want, say what you want about him. I could care less. I just care about what you're doing on the court. He can still just show up and grab 10 rebounds and get 2 or 3 blocks.
I think he's an East center. I think
He doesn't have to be the man, as we see.
But will he play his role?
He does want to go to the East. They're saying that he would love to go to his hometown of Atlanta.
All I know is this: he's on the wrong side of 30, and when you're on the wrong side of 30,
And you have back problems as a big man.
They don't go away.
Yeah, that's what I said.
They don't go away.
But just saying.
I don't know. That's the thing with Dwight Howard. Will he? It's not about what he can do on the court. We've seen Dwight Howard in the best of situations, even in the worst, even with Houston. It's unfortunate that teams haven't utilized him, but will he allow himself to be utilized to at least show people that he is worthy?
I just think
On paper, we know how worthy you are, but when you go on the court, when you show the disconnect, it doesn't make people want you to play for them. And then you go and make demands like, I done put in the work. We've seen your last couple of journeys. They have not been successful. And Dwight Howard was supposed to be, at this point, having big man be the big man. With him, big men weren't supposed to die.
He's supposed to develop
and at
his
this
skills.
point, they aren't there.
and he has been given the resources. But let's not forget, Dwight's team was in the West Conference Finals last year, and I think he had something to do with them coming back against the Clippers. He outplayed DeAndre Jordan.
He did.
No,
And that's true.
Which ain't
anybody,
that hard.
everybody say anybody.
Hey,
But,
his defensive intensity.
The
No,
mom
but
from the State Farm commercial.
The issue with Dwight Howard is just Dwight Howard is one of those people who just never lived up to his potential, bottom line.
And it's a lot of guys like that.
Because even with him, quote unquote, not living up to his potential, he's still pretty.
He still
good.
averages a double-double.
He's good.
He's still pretty good,
the
but
thing
yo,
is,
he could have been so much better.
Instead of good, he could have been.
He could have been Shaq level dominant.
Right, and that's why, you know what I'm saying, Shaq gets at him every chance he get because
That's
he knows, he sees it.
Big men weren't supposed to die with him being that next kin, and unfortunately,
He never developed those fundamentals.
Real quick, I know it's a name that's not out there, but it's rumors. I don't know how true it is. Damian Lillard could be on the trade block.
What?
Put it out there.
I thought they gave him the keys to Portland.
They did, but he knows that with the keys, he ain't
I
going to
want
open no doors.
he ain't got no help. He ain't got no help.
That kid don't do nothing.
And the team out here, if Minnesota can get rid of Ricky Rubio, Minnesota maybe.
Wow.
With Wiggins and Towns. But that
They
would
don't
take a
have-
lot.
They're not spending a lot of money right
It
now.
would be
Yeah, that would take a
nasty.
lot.
That would be nasty.
That would take a lot. They would need a coach, I think, as well. But if you can get those three,
Hey, listen,
Oh my God.
this may be an important time.
I just like things like
This
that.
may
Might
be
not
an
be.
important time, but the most important free agents is we gonna have to talk about after. I mean, Kevin Durant. I mean, we all know we are waiting to see what he gonna do in the off season. Waiting to see what Westbrook might do. But
Oh, he still got one more.
he got
year.
one more year.
We-
But Kevin Durant,
Let me ask y'all this real quick. They said Michael Jordan said he was okay with the Warriors possibly breaking the Bulls 72-10 record. So do the Warriors break it, and is Jordan okay with it? Mikal.
I mean, as a competitor, I find it very difficult that Michael Jordan said he's okay with it. I find it very. How is Michael Jordan nonchalant about somebody taking something that he did away? But at the same time, I think Michael Jordan peeps game. I think Michael Jordan peeps a squad, and Golden State is a squad, and not to mention a squad that's kind of sort of breaking the expectations that you thought they were going to be. Did you really think that they were going to be this team that they are this year? I mean, granted, if you didn't respect the road to the championship last year, you have to respect the road this year, hands down. If they take it this year, shut up.
Brian?
I want to answer her question real quick. I did because everybody doubted them when they said that, oh, but you didn't play the Clippers or you didn't play the Spurs. That right there, you knew they were coming, and they were coming with a force. And I do think Jordan, I don't know the level. I just don't see love between Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. So the fact that would sit more with the Chicago Bulls franchise, I just don't see it, it's not just Jordan. You know what I mean? So that's why I think he's okay with it. I mean, he was okay with Kobe breaking a couple of his records. So I think he respects this squad that, and I know personally, I just can't wait for NBA 2K17 where I can play the Warriors versus the 96 Bulls.
Hey, All-Star game in Charlotte this year, right? I mean, next year, right? In Jordantown.
Roger?
All right, quickly, I think that I think Michael Jordan is okay with it. I don't see why he would, hold a grudge towards the Warriors breaking the 72-10 record. I mean, he's showing that he's not really petty about these things. He respects the game. He respects everybody in the game, and I mean, so I do see the Warriors actually breaking this record. So and I want them to break this record also.
I just pray nobody get hurt.
I hope nobody gets hurt either, especially
gosh,
Draymond, because he plays extremely hard.
MVP a candidate. Shout
Candidate,
out
but you already know.
Shout out to Fox.
She most improved.
You know who was going to. That.
It's a two-man race, Curry and Leonard.
But yes,
Byron.
Warriors go 73-9, and actually, I think the Warriors could beat the 72-10 Bulls. Jordan can't guard Steph or Clay.
Woo! In 7.
And did you see that 3-point contest?
I'm telling you, in 7 games, everybody's saying, "Oh, you got to beat the Warriors up inside." Clearly, that does not work. Only way you can beat the Warriors is outscore them because they can defend. You got to outscore them. I'm just being honest.
Well, everybody tried to take the whole playbook that Memphis did, trying to beat them up on the inside, blah, blah, blah. Guess what?
It don't work.
Score.
Exactly. Like, you have to be able to put up 120.
And nobody couldn't even beat up the Warriors because Memphis was the only one that had the personnel to do that.
And people forgot.
And then people thought Greg Popovich was going to come up with something to be able to stop.
Come on.
People forget Golden State still has 2 7-footers.
I want to ask y'all what y'all think about this. I'm watching TNT, and Charles Barkley comes out his mouth and says, the team that everybody's sleeping on that will give the Warriors some go is the Clippers.
Tripping. Overrated.
How you don't have a to-go guy on the Clippers?
They got to get Blake back.
Overrated. I think he said that more because it's a rival, and we supposed to. That's a rival. That was supposed to be last year. That was supposed to be our Kings Lakers of this generation. That's what that was supposed to happen.
Same guys. You're looking at the equals.
They did play. Don't forget, 2 years ago before the Warriors won, they went to 7. The Warriors had a chance to win that, but the Clippers were a little bit better.
Yeah. They had that mentality for.
Now you see the Warriors
because of
have
the owner. And remember when they dropped the jersey? So that was the motivation.
But the key's Blake Griffin. He's got to be that dominant force.
Yeah, when he's not beating up the staff.
Cavante, you say you have a fun fact for us?
Yeah, but before I get into that, I think Michael Jordan, he deep down inside, I don't think he wants it to happen, but he realizes greatness when he sees it, and it's probably inevitable. They're 48-4.
That's what I said, 73-9 at least.
They are well on their way to
with more than half the games played. So
and on top, I think they're still undefeated at home. Like,
yep, they're 2 away from breaking the record, I think.
Oh, the home record.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Well,
the there goes that. And my lone fun fact. It sucks for the dog days of sports is coming, and I only got one today. But it's Russell Westbrook back-to-back MVP All-Star games. He's the only one to win it outright back-to-back because Bob Pettit did in 1958 and 1959. But in 1959, it was a co-MVP along with Elgin Baylor.
Well, Cavante's fun facts.
We need an intro for that.
We do. We got to do something special for you, dog.
I don't know, man.
We gonna do something special.
Give me a card recorder. I'll go ahead and run to it or
Cavante's
something.
a man.
Maybe if Jimmy Seafood
sponsored.
Whatever y'all want to come up with, man.
22 on stake.
Coming with his fun facts today.
Really though.
That's kind of on point.
Make sure y'all stay for In Between the Zone. We didn't get a chance to really touch on Peyton Manning, but you'll hear a little bit about what we said next week. Definitely make sure y'all stay tuned in. We want to thank True Sounds for our theme song. Don't forget to like our Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Periscope. If you have any questions, ideas, or possibly want to be a guest, you can always send us an email to theflexzone1@gmail.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Flex Zone, as well as you can hear us on SoundCloud and iTunes. Tonight's show is executively produced by Andre Melton. Yes. Our senior producer, Cravante Hurd, our associate producer, Mikel Ramos. Thank you for listening in. And also tune in next week as we debate the NBA's all 100 players all-time list, as well as ask the question, is Derrick Rose Could Derrick Rose possibly be the first player in NBA history to win the MVP and not be a Hall of Famer?
Wow.
Don't do that to that man.
And one more
Okay.
thing, hit the Amazon link on Fox Sports 1340 AM. Major discounts. Hit that
Major key alert.
hit it one time.
And with that, what do we say, Byron?
We gone.
Peace.